today's video, I'll be showing you guys the top 5 best ways to grind the most amount of faction coins possible for your faction team in SpongeBob Tower Defense. Obviously, in this brand new update, there's tons of ways to get faction coins for your faction team of choice. So make sure you watch this video to see the best method of them all. And without any more waiting, let's just start with the 5th best way, which you can actually get by grinding endless mode. This is probably one of the worst options out of all the ones that I'll be giving you guys today, but first of all, we obviously do need to choose our faction of our choice, which we'll do right now. Alright, perfect. Now that we're in the faction mode, we're gonna actually join the faction right now, and obviously we're gonna have to choose Pancake since it is the best team out of all of them. So yeah, there we go. We're getting transported to the Pancake section, and there we go. Nice. Yeah, if you use actually the leaderboard right now, obviously the faction standings do showcase which faction team is doing best. And right now, Goofy Goobers are in first place by only 100,000, while Pancakes are in second place and Jellyfish Spotters are in third. So yeah, genuinely it is so close, and obviously there's milestones as well, so the next milestone will be 5 million faction coins. And right now we're at 3.1 million in total, which is honestly awesome. And there's obviously this faction shop over here, so basically you'll be able to get tons of secret chests once we finally unlock tier 10. So yeah, now that that's all out of the way, we can finally start moving on to how to get the most amount of faction coins possible. I also would like to mention that there's a way to actually AFK the faction coins, but that's not even anywhere close to being the best. Now that that's all out of the way though, we can finally return to lobby right now to start this video. Alright, perfect. Now that we're in a normal lobby, I definitely want to show you guys the endless record right now, or I guess not really the endless record, but the endless method. And yeah, probably the best endless map to actually grind for the most amount of faction coins currently would probably just be normal Conch, where you can get 1 per, I think, 10 or 15 waves, something around there. So yeah, for this level, we'll just bring in a Spongehenge, a Hash-Slinging Slasher, a Dream Gary, a Cyborg Plankton, a Sea Bear, and finally just a Krusty Krab, just so we can max out everything a little bit quicker. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, we can finally hop into game of endless mode right now. So yeah, here we go. And yeah, for this one game, we'll make sure to fully auto skip the entire time on 5 times game speed. And we need to farm as much money as possible in the very beginning. That way we can afford to place down one of our starting units just so we can stay alive at least a little bit longer. So yeah, for now we'll just place down a Spongehenge right about here just to take care of everything early on, and then we can definitely replace them once we find a better spot. I won't be too much of an endless life yapper for now. For now, we'll just fully focus on max out both of our Krusty Krabs just like so. And obviously, you probably can't get as far as the wave as me, but trust me, it's still not really that great to grind endless mode anyway. I'm just showing you guys how good it is just so you guys can compare it to every other game that we do later on in this video. But yeah, now that both of our Krusty Krabs are maxed out, we'll definitely just instantly max out our Cyber Plankton on this strip right here, as well as the Dream Gray right over this way, a Sea Bear right around, or not a Sea Bear, a Hash-Slinging Slasher right about there, a Spongehenge right this way, a Sea Bear probably right over this way, and yeah, there's everything that we need to place down for now. Now we might as well just sell both of our Krusty Krabs too, and let's just see exactly how far we can make it with just this one team of pretty bad secret units, if I'm being honest, all by themselves. I think they'll get pretty heavily for the first 100 or so waves, and then we'll go a little bit lighter, and then we'll only commentate every single dirty boss after like wave 300, 400, etc. I gotta make my money somehow, so yeah, we gotta make sure to yap as much as possible actually. Nah, just kidding. Anyway, but yeah, by wave 29 we had a giant dirty bubble die right here, and then we already made it to wave 30. On wave 34 we had our next smaller one immediately die in the very part like all these other fish that are dying immediately too. And now we're already 3 away from wave 40, and 2 waves away. And actually, now that we're going to be 1 wave away, we have another medium-sized dirty ball that's going to die right here, and boom, now we also made it to wave 40. Yeah, now we're already 3 away from when the next giant dirty ball boss spawns in, so yeah, I guess I'll just see you guys in around 2 waves now as well. Here comes our next giant one, spawning like I said was going to spawn on wave 43 down right here again. But now we're 3 away from wave 50, and we have our next smaller one spawning right on wave 48 too, which dies right here, but now we're only 2 waves away from wave 50, and 1 wave away, and boom, now we also made it there too. On wave 53, we have another medium-sized one died in the very front over here again. And now we're officially through the wave from wave 60, and we actually have our next giant dirty ball spawning into with 14,000, this time died right this way. Yeah, finding that one already took 2 shots to kill, but now we're actually 2 waves away from wave 60, and 1 wave away, and boom, now we also made it to wave 60. Here comes our next smaller one on wave 62, dying right here, and on wave 67 we had another medium-sized one die right here, but boom, just like that, now we also made it to wave 70. On wave 71 is actually when our next giant one spawns in, this time with almost 17,000 health, also dying right here. And on wave 76, we had another smaller one die over this way. Now we also made it to wave 82, meaning we're also closing in on wave 100 already, but there goes our next medium-sized one with over 10,000 health, making it right here. And on wave 85 is when our next giant one spawns in, which almost has around 20,000 health on it. In fact, yeah, here it is right here with over 20,000 health. Wow, yeah, this one dies right here yet again. But now we're through this away from wave 90, and 2 waves away, 1 wave away, and bang, now we finally made it to wave 90 on the dot right then and there. There goes our final smaller dirty bubble that we'll be commentating over. As well as by wave 94, we have our final medium one that we're also going to commentate over dying right here. In fact, here comes our final giant one that we're not going to be commentating over quite yet, but it'll be the final one before we make it to wave 100. That time dying right here, and boom, now we also made it to wave 100. Yeah, for now we're only going to stick to commentate over all the giant dirty balls that spawn in just to keep this endless round a little bit shorter, and we'll commentate over every single time we make it to wave 110, 120, etc. So I have no more commentate over all these smaller ones that spawn in, as well as all of these mediums that spawn in too. But what we do care about is every single time we make it to wave 110, and every time we have a giant dirty ball spawning like that one with 29,000 health. Anyway, now we officially made it to wave 120, and finally by wave 127 is when our next giant dirty ball spawns in. So here goes this one right then, and there. Yeah, this one had 35,000 health, also dying right here, but now we're officially through away from wave 130, and now we're only 2 waves away, and 1 wave away, and boom, now we finally made it to wave 130, as well as wave 140. By wave 141, we had another giant one, this time dying over this way. And nice, now we also made it to wave 150. On wave 155, we have another giant one, this time finally reaching over 50,000, dying right here yet again. But now we're only through this away from wave 160, 2 waves away, 1 wave away, and boom, now we also made it to wave 160. And on wave 169, we had another giant one, this time dying right this way, and nice, now we also made it to wave 170. Now we also made it to wave 180 though, and on wave 183 we have another giant one, this time reaching over 72,000, all dying right here. Finally by wave 197 we have our final giant one before we finally make it to wave 200 spawning, and yeah, this one has 87,000, this time dying right here. And boom, just like that, we finally officially made it to wave 200 on the dot in 3, 2, 1, nice, let's go. Now I think I'm only gonna update you guys every single time the giant 30 ball will spawn in, and strictly only that. So yeah, by wave 211, this one's gonna spawn in and die right this way, and another one spawning on wave 225, and it also died in the exact same spot that the last one died. On wave 239, we have our next one with over 150,000, taking an extra step right around here this time. Wave 253 is another giant one, this time dying in the exact same spot that the wave 239 one died in. On wave 267, we have our first giant 30 ball to reach over 200,000, this time dying a little bit further over here now. And on wave 281, we have our first one to reach over 260,000, dying right here. And on wave 295, we have our final giant 30 ball with over 300,000 before we make it to wave 300, this time dying right here. Yeah, finally at last, we are going to make it to wave 300 already, which is super crazy considering we haven't really made that much progress with the giant 30 balls. So yeah, there we go, we made it to wave 300. Honestly, yeah, the next time I'll see you guys is going to be wave 400, bro. I'm getting so bored of this endless round. Just hurry it up already, come on now. So yeah, finally at last, we made it to wave 400 on the dot, and yeah, still nothing much has gone too far at all quite yet. And yeah, even the giant 30 balls at this point have 1.3 million health, but we're still able to fairly easily defeat them. I mean, this one only really made it right here. In fact, yeah, I think we'll be able to make it to wave 500. So yeah, we're already on wave 410, and 420, 430, 440, and now we even have giant 30 balls reaching over 2 million health that are finally getting pretty far too. Yeah, this one seems to die right over, let's say right over, ooh, it's actually gonna make it pretty far, yeah, right over here. But nice, now we also made it to wave 450. Now we also made it to wave 460 though, and 470, and on wave 477 we have our first giant 30 bubble to reach over 3 million health. Yeah, this is also gonna make it fairly far back. Yeah, it's already over this one and it still has over 2 million health on it. And now it's getting out of the intersection with over 1 million health. Yeah, luckily we were able to get this one all the way over this way, but that one also made it very far. But now we also made it to wave 480, as well as wave 490. Now we have our first giant dirty ball to reach over 4 million health this time. And finally it's down to 3 million all the way over this way. And finally it starts to get slowed in this intersection right here. But it still has 2 million health all the way over this way. And it still has 1 million health, and now it's finally not going to be slowed anymore either. So yeah, now it's going to start going max speed once again, and this one's going to die right here. But now we're officially through to wave 500, and now we're only 2 waves away, and 1 wave away, and boom, now we also made it there too. This time this giant dirty bubble might actually get on by though. Yo, it's still so much health in it. I think this is finally gonna be the first giant dirty bubble to get on by. Wait, is it? Oh, we got it last second. Wow, right over here this time. Dang. Yeah, that was easily the closest one yet, but now just so you guys will see next one spawns with over 5 million health on it. So yeah, like I said, it spawned with over 5 million health on it, and finally we got it below 5 million health, but this one is 100% gonna get on by. I mean, we just barely got it down to 4 million health before it even started getting slowed. But now it's down to 3 million health, and just barely we'll be able to get it below 2 million, but not much past that. Yep, this time we're finally gonna be down to 65 health, just like so. In fact, yeah, this next one was 6.9 million health. Nice number, but yeah, but there's really no way we're gonna be able to defeat this one either. Finally, at last, we got it down to 6 million health, and all of these guys are not even gonna be slowed anymore, so maybe even the big slowing showies will get on by. And yeah, most of these guys still have 2 million health, 1 million. And yeah, if even one of these guys gets on by, we automatically lose. Wait, are they actually gonna get on by? Wow. 532 waves beats, and we got 105 faction points from that too. So now we can finally return to lobby to do the math. It took 45 minutes as well. Wow, that took forever. Dang. So yeah, from that we actually got 105 on the dot, but it was technically 210 since we had the 2x global boost on. But since it's been about an hour, we can definitely check up on our faction team too. Yeah, hopefully we're finally number 1, bro. Come on, tell me we're number 1. Please. Alright, here we go. We're loaded in. Let's see. Oh, what the heck? Yo, why are we number 3 right now? Oh, hell no. What happened to our team, bro? What are we doing? Alright, whatever. It's not too big of a problem. But yeah, now let's do the math. So yeah, for starters, we'll definitely pull out a calculator. And since there's a total of 1,440 minutes in a day, and we took 45 minutes to actually beat the round, we can do, oh, oops, I did multiplication, oops. Alright, let me definitely retype that, that should be much better. So yeah, we can roughly do 32 endless games in a single day with this loadout right here. And since we got 105 normally, if we theoretically didn't have the global boost on, we could get roughly, oh my goodness, what am I doing? What the heck? I'm going to do 32 times 105, which gets you roughly 3,360 of these tokens a day if you do endless mode. But if you have the 2x boost on with globals, you can get roughly 6,720 a day doing this. Or if you have the 2x normal boost that you can buy yourself, you can get roughly 13,440 a day. So yeah, that'll be method number 1. This is the boost I was talking about, the 2x faction points boost right here. And if you unlock tier 5, you can also get some from here too, free to play. You don't have to spend Robux just to get them here though. Oh nice, I was talking, now we actually jumped up to the number 2 spot. Let's go. Anyway, now let's move on to method number 2, which I definitely think I want to talk about, which is probably actually gonna be, let's do, next we'll actually do challenges. Yeah, believe it or not, you can actually get these challenge tokens from Rage, which is super awesome. And you can get 5 from Hard Mode, 10 from Nightmare, and a whopping 15 from the Flying Dutchman ship, which is obviously Davy Jones' locker right now. Yeah, we're going just to show you guys, we'll just do one game of the Flying Dutchman ship just to show you guys exactly how quickly you can beat this map and to show how quickly you can get this currency. Yeah, essentially all you really have to do is farm enough money just to place down your first really good unit in the very beginning, and then you're pretty much set from there. So yeah, once this skips one more time, we should get enough money to place down our first sponge hedge all the way back over this way. Wait, what the heck? Why is it not skipping at all? Okay, well now it's skipped, but I still have enough money. Okay, one second, let me restart with a different loadout. Alright, there you go, much better. Now we have an Elastic Wasteman that should be able to basically take care of all these early games units, which are super helpful for us. So yeah, now that it's skipped one more time, we'll just place down one of these guys right here. What the heck? Yo, how did that guy get on by? Okay, well thank God we got it last second. Jeez, that was close. Anyway, there's both Krusty Krabs maxed out by wave 4. By wave 6, we maxed out our Sponge Henge. By wave 7, we maxed out our Dream Gary. By wave 8, we were able to max out our Hatchling and Slash over here. By wave 9, we maxed out our Sea Bear. And by wave 10, we maxed out everything else. Nice. Now we're officially only through the wave from wave 15 though. And 2 waves away. 1 wave away, and boom, there we go. We finally made it to wave 15 on the dot, and yeah, luckily we're able to defeat every single boss fairly easily, so there goes everything right then and there. Nice. Yeah, obviously we got 3 minutes and 20 seconds, but I'll explain a little bit more later on. Yep, there's the 15 faction points that we got too, but now it's time to do even more explaining. Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys watched my video where I showed you guys the best ways to grind the challenge token currency a few days ago. But basically what I figured out is that you can get roughly 102,000 of that currency every single day. That's combined with the rotating maps of every 30 minutes where the map changes. So yeah, obviously now it's Pattyville, where about 5 minutes ago it was actually the Flying Dutchman map. But obviously, compared to last time where you can get 50 challenge tokens compared to the only 15 you can get from the faction tokens, that means if we do 15 divided by 50, you can get roughly 0.3 of that amount. If we do 102,000 divided by 0.3, well, I guess we can just times that by 10 just to get the same exact amount. I mean, you can get roughly 30,600 a day just from grinding challenge maps. Yeah, it's almost already 3 times better than the Endless Bay area, so yeah, that's definitely a giant improvement for sure. But now it's time to move on to the third best method, that of which is actually going to be the Raids maps. Out of all 4 of the Raids maps that you can play from Bubble War Hard Mode all the way up to Mermaid Mare Nightmare Mode, the best and quickest game mode to play is actually going to be Bubble Bowl Nightmare Mode right here. Yeah, from this one you get 15 every single time you beat it, and you're actually able to macro, which makes it even more accessible too. So yeah, without anyone waiting, let me just show up this map next to it, and let's see exactly how quickly we're able to defeat it right now. Here we go. Unfortunately, it is a little bit harder since there's so many different entrances that enemies can come out of. And since I'm taking a little bit of time to actually go through and talk about what we're placing down, it's going to be a little bit of a bad time this time around. But that's okay, because we'll just minus like 10 seconds off our total time once we finish this round. Anyway, yeah, for the very beginning, you want to just hardcore farm as much money as possible just so you can start maxing out everything too. So yeah, by wave 4, all of our Krusty Krabs are maxed. By wave 5, we'll place a max as Sponge all the way back here. So never mind, by wave 7, or by wave 6 is actually when we're able to fully max it out. And then we'll also max out a Hatchling and Slash in the very front over this way. So by wave 10, we're able to max out this one. But yeah, essentially for now, we're just going to want to put all of our troops in the very front just so we can start spawn killing as much as possible too. We'll just have these Sponge back here to catch anything that slips on by in the very back, so yeah, that's gonna clutch up for sure. But now we've got Dream Gary maxed out too. And now we'll place a max on an Elastic Wasteman over this way just to spawn kill this area as well. And then finally another one back over this way just to spawn kill this area too as much as possible as well. I guess we might as well just fill the last few places of slots that we have left just with a few extra ones too. So yeah, by wave 13 we're fully done placing down everything. Now it's just a matter of time until we're finally done with all these rounds as well, so yeah, hopefully it doesn't take too long at all. In fact, yeah, now we'll need 10 waves to fail, 5 waves away, 3 waves away, 2 waves away, 1 wave away, and boom, there we go. We finally made it to wave 25. We have a few king jellyfishes to defeat, but after those die, we will finally end up making it to the final end screen. So yeah, here we go. There goes the last few right then and there. Any second now, we'll skip to the final wave, and boom. Yeah, that one took 7 minutes and 26 seconds to complete. Dang, that's not really that great, but again, it is replayable, which makes it a lot more likely for you to use. Let's definitely return to the lobby to do the math on this one though. So if we pull out another calculator and do 1,440 minutes in a day divided by 7.5 minutes, we'll just say 7 minutes just to minus a little off time, just to account for the amount of time it took us to start the game. So yeah, we get roughly 205 times a day that we can do this math. Then if we do that times the 15 we got from that round, we can do around 3,000 in a single day. Times 2 if there's a global boost. Times 2 if you have the 2 times boost on yourself. And yeah, you can get roughly 12,000 a day just from macroing alone, which isn't bad at all. Unfortunately, it is definitely the worst one we've tested out so far, but either way, we'll definitely move on to the final 2, which are the easiest out of the 2 for sure. Yeah, for the second to last method, I definitely want to showcase is actually going to be the one that you guys probably thought was the best. That of which is going to be grinding 1-1 Conch over and over again on Nightmare Mode. Yeah, obviously if you grind here, well, it doesn't really matter which one you grind because, oh wait, never mind, there is actually a difference. Okay, yeah, definitely you guys probably thought Conch Nightmare 1 was the best. So we'll definitely show up the speed on this one real quick before we move on to the final one. And yeah, all you really need to do for this one is grind as quick as possible in the very front. So yeah, we'll definitely do a quick little restart run after this one. But the best part about this one is that you don't really need the best of units in order to do this successfully. I mean, all I really had to place was a decent starting unit, but you don't even need that great of a starting unit either. And then we'll just place down the sponges just to take care of everything a little bit quicker. But yeah, we're already on wave 5, wave 10. But there we go, we finally made it to wave 15, and this time we're actually going to speedrun as much as possible. So yeah, that one was a minute and 29 seconds. Yeah, let's rush replay, start wave right away, and start going as well. Here we go, we need to speedrun as quick as possible. I mean, we're already on wave 2, 3, 4. By wave 5, we'll place down our Sponge. By wave 7, we'll place down our Slasher. By wave 9, we'll place down our Gary. By wave 10, we'll place down a Sea Bear. And now we're officially through this away from wave 15. and 2 waves away, 1 wave away, and boom, there we go. We finally made it to wave 15 on the dot right then and there, and there goes the boss, and this time it was 1 minute and 16 seconds. Yeah, we'll definitely have to go down into the seconds to do the exact math for this one, but like I said, you get 5 faction points per round, so now let's go back to the lobby. Yeah, if we do the math for this one, there's a total of 86,400 seconds in a day, and if you divide this number by 76, which is how long it took to beat the round, you get roughly 1,136 plays in a day. Times that by 5, which is the amount you get per round. Times that by 2 with the global boost. And finally times that by 2, which is how much you get from the normal boost. You can get roughly 22,736 in a day by doing this method. And believe it or not, that's not even better than the challenge map somehow. That's actually very interesting. It is definitely the second best by far. It's just not quite the best. That's actually making me reconsider something. I wonder if the final method that I'll be showing you guys is actually going to be the best. Yeah, for this final method, it's actually going to be playing Conch, it's going to be playing Chum Bucket 1-1 Nightmare Mode instead of Conch 1-1 Nightmare Mode. Yeah, for this one, you can actually beat it a few seconds quicker, which makes it slightly better, but we'll just show you guys exactly how much better it truly is right now. And again, this round will just be the challenge round just to show you guys how quickly we're able to defeat it. Actually, now, we're just going to purposely lose a regret just to make it even quicker. So if any second now, the round should be over, and we'll just press replay right away. So yeah, there goes the round right then and there. We'll just press replay and start the game right away. We need to make sure this goes as quick as possible. And yeah, all we really need to do is place that on a sponge edge as soon as it skips one more time right away, just like that. And this will be able to leave us at around 11 health just to stay alive just barely. So yeah, there goes our health all the way down to, let's say, ooh, okay, only 53 this time around, so that was actually not too bad at all. All we really need to do is max out the sponge edge ASAP, and then we're good from there. So it seems like by wave 13, or actually, yeah, by wave 13 on the dot, we fully maxed out our sponge edge. And yeah, that's really all we need in place for now. We don't really need to max out anything else, but we can if we want to, just to make it, I guess, slightly quicker, if even possible. But there we go, we made it to wave 15. This is obviously the final wave, and there goes the man ray right then and there. Nice. Yeah, wow, 1 minute and 9 seconds. That's actually a second quicker than my record. I'll take it, bro. That's actually impressive. Nice. So yeah, that's roughly about 8 seconds quicker than the last map, which is honestly really solid. So yeah, last but not least, if we do the math for this one and we do 86,400 divided by 69 seconds this time, we can do this roughly 1,252 times in a day, which is roughly 200 more than last round. Then if we do that number times 5, which is the amount we got, we can do this roughly, or we can get roughly 6,260 a day, fully free to play. Or if we have the global boost, we get 12,000, or if we have the normal boost, we can get roughly 25,000 a day. Yeah, wow, that's honestly shocking. I didn't expect that whatsoever. Yeah, I guess I've decided that this map right here is basically the best possible way to grind. Wow. So I guess if you're grinding manually, you definitely want to grind the challenge maps, but if you're just macroing, you want to definitely grind 1-1 Chum Bucket Nightmare Mode. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful for sure. I definitely did 100%, but yeah, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video very soon. And before we end off, as always, here's a few codes. We have Cream of the Crop, which gives you 1,000 gems and 10 magic conches. Code Only the Best gives you all this stuff, which is honestly really good. Delay is Okay gives you all this stuff, which is insanely good. And last but not least, Pick a Side is the final code that I have for you guys, which is unfortunately expired. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace out, everybody.